first boss I will be fighting is called Endurance. And according to the lore, Endurance is the third identity and the overseer of space. It also drops emanations, which will come out in the future, but as of now, it drops glitchy wings to replace it. Unlike Prime, this boss can be done in public. But to be honest, you could probably solo this. Endurance is way easier than Prime and takes a lot less time and skill. It also drops a good amount of orbs. The first attack is this yellow swirly particle beam thingy, which holds you in place for 2 seconds before you can move again. Copying Prime much, unoriginal much. Prime is obviously the superior boss. I say that as I take a week to defeat Prime. The second attack of Endurance is Beam Barrage, which stuns you before it attacks and flings you if you get hit. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it avoidable? Yes, no, maybe, so I don't know. From my 2 minutes experience of fighting this boss, I can say that I have never dodged that ability once. Technically, you could use Divinity's Shield. But come on, who's going to actually use Divinity's Shield? You'd have to switch back and forth between modes. It's just not ethical. I'm using Prime in this video because it does good damage and has good versatility. And also because I don't want to spend more time on this boss fight when if I use different modes and combos. My strategy for this is just to use Dependency Heal after Endurance attacks of Beam Barrage 2 times. That is basically the only 2 attacks of this boss. Will it have more abilities in the future? Probably. But let's all just pray that the other abilities this boss would have are all easy to dodge. Now it's time for the Endurance speedrun. And now I am dead. Wasn't completely unexpected. Now, moving on to the next boss. Boss numero 2 is called Ephemeral, which is the second identity and overseer of time, lore-wise. It also drops emanations, but as of now, they ain't out yet, so you'll get Corrupted Wings as a replacement. Onto the boss fight. I'm doing this in a public server because I don't know if you've noticed, but it explodes, which is not very good for soloing. As you can see in the background, this boss is the nuclear bomb version of Ouroboros. So if you die in this boss fight, at least you'll be dying via color bomb and Roblox epilepsy. For this boss fight I'm using my signature combo Nano C, Unstable X, Purity V, and Oro Z, which deals around 40,000 each rotation if you have the same loadout as me. Now that I've said that, y'all better not copy my combo. There are probably better combos out there. Anyways, feel free to tell your combos in the comments. Or if you spam random abilities, that's fine too. This boss is just exploding everywhere. But if you ask me, this is still easier than Prime. Which you know makes sense, since Prime gives a mode. What doesn't make sense is the next boss, Kitetsa, which is currently the hardest boss in the game, and doesn't give a mode at all greater than Sad Face. The devs would probably add a mode for it later. And look at that, I've beaten Ephemeral. Now on to the final boss. Kitetsa, the Annihilator, or something along the lines of that. This is currently the hardest boss in the game, and is not soloable at all. I could barely defeat it in a public server. So in the lore, Kitetsa is the first scourge of the 12 that kept us in Axaram. So yes, there are 11 more bosses after this. Before we continue with lore, I just want to say something about this boss fight. This boss fight is incredibly hard and can only be defeated with Equinox invincibility. This boss fight also needs the cooperation of the entire server, which is already a challenge by itself. I'd say that this boss should be on the Aleph level or even Transcendent based on its difficulty. If this isn't Transcendent level, I can just imagine what Transcendent level bosses are like. Once a Transcendent boss spawns, it just crashes your device and turns it into a multifunctional brick. Anyways, this is the recommended strategy for this boss written by Alfredo, one of the devs. I'd also like to add one more thing, the essential Equinox move, the invisibility move. Without it, this boss would be impossible and you would need devs to help you defeat it. Back to the lore. So Kitetsa is one of the 12 scourges who kept us in Axaram. This Axaram is a different reality from the Axaram from 2022 to 2023. You know, when the SGR drama happened and the devs blamed it on Exunomorin, saying that he canonically destroy one reality of Axaram. Axaram has a lot of realities inside it if y'all didn't know. Kitetsa somehow enrages Archie, despite being weaker than him because Archie is too nice. Kitetsa corrupts him, canonically killing him in the process. Very depressing. That's pretty much it for the Kitetsa lore drop. Back to this boss fight. It will always start with something I call a radiation orb thingamabob, but everyone tells me to shut up. If you stand too close to it, you will lose health if you don't use invisibility or shield. Next is the move that will almost insta-kill you. This godforsaken move. I hate it and it needs to die. The only way you can block this ability is with Equinox, Invis and Divinity Shield and maybe Zephyr. Equinox being useful. Next ability is Explosion, the ability in the background. It's basically Archie's explosion ability, with morale. Pretty easy to dodge. I rated a would not came as out of 10. The final ability is the Forsaken technique. It is basically Archie's ultimate, but it kills you quicker. So as you probably have noticed, I've probably died like 30 times already. And half of this server is using dependency. As you can see, I'm invisible. Try to spot me. I bet you can't. I just realized you could theoretically 5-shot this boss with a nuke. And you have 3+6 nuke multipliers. Anjo, and other buffs. Look at that porcupine attack. Hopes and prayers to anyone that was there. And my Equinox invisibility wore off. Now I am dead again. 31st time's the charm. Watch me get insta-killed as soon as I leave the safe zone. I literally only have 20% of my health left. Could have been worse. Could have ended up with 0 health. This video is just me switching between Equinox and Prime. So if you don't have dependency or Prime, you're probably not going to be able to deal damage to this boss. And look at that. 50% of the boss Heath. In 4 minutes. How many servers have you seen that completes half of Kitetsa's health in 4 minutes without dev help? That's right, no. If you have, then you're lying. And why is Kitetsa over there? Which crackhead decided to go to the edge of the map? ONVM. Kitetsa was right beside me. Equinox invisibility runs out. And dead again. If you ask me, after I defeated Kitetsa in the making of this video, the boss fight itself wasn't really that hard. The hard part was finding a server that met the requirements. Me dodging all of Kitetsa's attacks. The funny part of this video was that I didn't even know where Kitetsa was half of the time. It was just me attacking wherever other people were attacking. Death count, 33. Or 32. Heck, it might even be 40. I lost count at this point. Anyways, for the remaining 34% of Kitetsa's health, I will speed up the video. And there we go. Kitetsa the Annihilator. More like Kitetsa the Dead. Clap for me. I spent 2 minutes to think of that. Thank you to this lovely server for helping to defeat this boss that y'all didn't know you were going to be in a video, now did you? I also heard a rumor of a new mode section called Eternus, told to me by one of the people in this server. If that was a lie, how could you? I trusted you. Anyways, that's it for this video. Died.